Ever looked at your life and thought, whose story is this, and why am I just a side character with bad lines? Funny how fast everything can come undone. One moment, it all feels solid, predictable even, and then without warning the floor vanishes. You're no longer standing on anything, just falling. I'm 32 years old, back in the bedroom I grew up in. The posters on the wall are curling at the edges. The desk is still cluttered with high school trophies and worn-out notebooks. It's like walking into a museum of my younger self, except the exhibit is depressingly accurate. These objects haven't changed, but I have. I let out this dry, bitter laugh. This asterisk isn't the version of my life I thought I'd be living. I'm Kelly. And despite the dreams I once carried around like armor, I've somehow landed here. Rock bottom. Alone. Trying to trace back the fault lines to figure out where it all cracked. Started with Noah. We met at a housewarming party my friend Jasmine threw when she moved into a beautiful townhouse. Sunlight streaming through French windows, curated furniture that looked torn from a magazine spread. Her life was organized, full. Career on fire. Fiancé who practically glowed every time he looked at her. It all fit. Like someone had drawn up the plans and life had simply obeyed. Mine. Messy. Half finished. A carousel of dating apps, small talk, and awkward drinks that never led anywhere. I'd started to believe that soul-deep, lasting love wasn't something meant for me. That maybe I'd missed it in some previous chapter. Or maybe it just wasn't written into my story. Then I saw him. Noah stood slightly apart from the rest of the party. He wasn't loud or trying to be seen. He had this stillness to him. Dark hair, thoughtful eyes, a quiet gravity that drew you in without asking. But what struck me most wasn't how he looked. It was how he listened. When you spoke, he gave you his full attention, like your words were treasures he was carefully collecting. We talked that night, really talked. Tucked into a quiet corner while the noise of the party blurred behind us. Hours passed like minutes. And for the first time in what felt like forever, something in me stirred. Maybe I hadn't missed my chance after all. Noah was everything I thought I'd been waiting for. Kind, gentle, present. He made the world feel quieter somehow, easier to breathe in. Within a year he proposed. A quiet evening on the balcony, city lights below us, and a ring that caught the reflection of the stars. I said yes without a second thought. We married the following spring. All soft blues and late blooms and promises whispered under an open sky. And for a while it was perfect. But slowly, so slowly I barely noticed, it began to change. Or maybe I did. The steadiness I once found comfort in began to feel still. His small gestures, the way he remembered my favorite tea, the notes he tucked into my lunch, started to feel routine, predictable. I began to wonder. Had I traded passion for peace? Fire for calm? At first, the doubts were a whisper. But then they were everywhere. In the spaces between our conversations. In the way I checked my phone more during dinners. In the fact that I started looking at other couples with envy. Everything truly cracked at a dinner party. Someone had asked, casually over wine, how you know you've chosen the right person. And without thinking, without filtering, I laughed and said, honestly, if I had to do it all over again, I probably wouldn't have married Noah. The room fell to stone silence. I looked toward him, hoping to find a smile, maybe a glimmer of playfulness. But there was nothing. Just a stillness so sharp it almost hummed. He held his wine glass like it was the only thing grounding him. When he finally spoke, his voice was soft, but it sliced. That's good to know. I tried to laugh it off. Make it a badly timed joke. But it was already too late. That night he didn't yell. Didn't fight. He just shut down. Went to bed without another word. I told myself we'd talk it out in the morning like we always did. We were good at that, repairing. Or so I thought. But the next morning, his side of the bed was cold. His closet was half empty. His toothbrush was gone. And on the nightstand, like punctuation at the end of a final sentence, sat his wedding band, right next to a photo of us from our honeymoon, still in its silver frame, called Texted. Nothing. Days passed. Then weeks. And slowly, reality settled in like dust in a room no one visits anymore. He wasn't coming back. The hardest part wasn't losing him. It was realizing how effortlessly he let go, while I was still spinning in a storm of guilt and regret. I saw him once, weeks later, sitting in a cafe downtown with a woman who looked like she belonged in a life I didn't qualify for anymore. She had that graceful, effortless confidence. The kind of woman who never second-guessed her place in the world. And the way he looked at her. It was how he used to look at me. I wanted to walk in. To say remember me. To beg him to rewind everything, to fight for us. But I didn't. Because deep down I finally understood. He had loved me. Fully. Openly. And I had loved the idea of him, until I didn't. Regret doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. It follows you in the quiet. It lives in the stillness after everyone else has moved on. It reminds you, not of what was taken but of what you gave up. He didn't leave because he stopped loving me. He left because he realized. I never truly saw the way he loved me. Now, I sit here in my childhood room, surrounded by echoes of someone I used to be, wondering how I let it all unravel. People always say, you don't know what you have until it's gone. But that's not always true. Sometimes you do. You just realize it too late.